Hey lovelies, if you have some summer entertaining coming up, might I suggest wowing your guests with today's 3 delicious dip recipes that are perfect for a pool party, a potluck, a backyard barbecue, whatever sort of summer event you are hosting. I'm getting started today with a really yummy, fresh, whipped feta dip. This is to die for. It's nice and salty like you would expect a feta dip to be, but it's also got a nice tang courtesy of some lemon juice and a good hit of garlic, the way any Greek-inspired dish should. I'm gonna get started with just a little bit of plain Greek yogurt in the bowl of my food processor. To that, I am going to add a whole lot of feta cheese. Next, I'll be adding the zest and juice of half a lemon, and to add a little more flavor to our dip, I'm also going to be using some Greek seasoning. Of course, you could always use store-bought Greek seasoning, but if you want to make your own, it's a lot easier than you might think. And I happen to have a recipe for some delicious homemade Greek seasoning in my cookbook, Meals Made Easy, which if you haven't checked out yet, I hope you will. I will link it in the description box below. Finally, I am also going to be adding some garlic to my food processor. I'm using half a clove here. Now you could use a full clove if you wanted to, but you know, we're not working on slaying any vampires today, so I think half a clove will probably get the job done. I'll pop the lid on my food processor and let it just work its magic. Now, don't be afraid to whip this for a good amount of time. You wanna add a ton of air and lightness to this dip, and what you end up with is this really sort of fluffy situation that stands up all on its own. Oh, that's good. This yumminess can be served immediately or stored in the refrigerator for up to 3 days. You could serve this up with some pita or some fresh crudité. It really depends on what you're feeling like. Next, if you're looking for something slightly more decadent, I have a bacon ranch dip that is seriously going to take your taste buds for a ride. It all starts with some cream cheese in my bowl, and to that I'm going to add some sour cream. Now I'm using full fat sour cream. I am not a fan of the lower fat stuff. I find you get the best texture and flavor from a nice full fat sour cream. I'm just going to blend those up using my hand mixer. I wanna make sure that they get well combined and that they're nice and light and fluffy. Of course, it's important to have your cream cheese at room temperature before you do this. That way you'll make sure to get the best texture. Next, I'm going to pile in some cooked bacon that has just been finely chopped. I've got some green onions headed into my bowl, as well as some homemade ranch seasoning. Finally, I'm going to be adding some horseradish and some Worcestershire sauce. This adds a je ne sais quoi to everything it touches. Don't believe me? You will have to try it for yourself. You can serve this dip up with some fresh veggies if you want to, or you could even spread this on a sandwich. Absolutely killer. I need to warn you, this dip is totally addictive and your guests won't be able to get enough. So I hope you'll make a second batch. Finally today, guys, I am making a creamy avocado and sweet corn dip that is unbelievably yummy. I'm mixing this dip up once again in my food processor because I want to help it get nice and smooth. It all starts with some avocado. To that, for some creaminess and a little bit of tang, I'm going to be adding some sour cream. Next, I'm going to be adding some fresh sweet corn to my food processor. Fresh corn this time of year, I cannot get enough. As you may have noticed, a lot of my videos have involved fresh corn, and that's because I just want to eat it all the time. To that, I'm just going to add a little bit of flavor with some chili powder. Then for some freshness, we've got cilantro. Skip it if you're not a cilantro fan. I've got a half a clove of garlic headed in here. And then I will add the zest and juice of a lime to this as well. I feel like you're going to want to dip everything into this. I'll hit that with some salt and pepper, pop the lid on, and give it a good blend. Of course, you want to give it some time to make sure that corn gets well blended, and this yumminess is ready to be devoured. I always like serving it up with some fresh veggies, but also with some tortilla chips. This is kind of like what would happen if guacamole and lime crema got together and had a baby. Not only is this stuff amazing as a dip, but I can also tell you it would be incredible spread on a taco. I hope you'll give all 3 of these delicious dips a try. If you do, be sure to tweet me, Instagram me, or Facebook me a photo because guys, I always love seeing your kitchen creations. All of the full recipes are linked in the description box below and featured on our amazing meal planning site, healthymealplans.com. If you haven't checked it out yet, I hope you will. And finally, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell because there is lots more deliciousness where this came from.